James Bond girls. We all have our favourites. Today's video is going to be my top 10. We're going to go from number 10 down to number 1 of my favourite Bond girls. What's yours? Let's find out today. Okay, so coming in at number 10 is Melina Havelock. She was in For Your Eyes Only, and the actress played her was called Carol Bouquet, if I'm pronouncing that right. She was born on August the 18th, 1957. So she starred alongside Roger Moore in the film. Very much a sort of woman sort of out for revenge. Yeah, kind of sort of good match for Bond. This was starting to go into the sort of era of Bond girls being far more of a sort of strong female lead, which was, you know, good without sort of it being over the top. It was a nice balance. So yeah, very attractive lady, and she's my number 10 pick. So coming in at number 9 is the character of Dr. Holly Goodhead. Stars alongside Roger Moore, James Bond in the film Moonraker. So yeah, very knowledgeable lady, astronaut, scientist. When Bond meets her for the first time, he kind of questions, so you're a doctor. Maybe a little bit politically incorrect now, but at the time it was, you know, they could get away with this sort of stuff. But she shows in the film that she's, you know, knows her stuff. She's a good match to Bond. She works with him, you know, and sort of at times trying to sort of do her own thing in the film. But, you know, a good strong female lead was always nice to see in films without it being sort of over the top, shall we say. So yeah, number 9, Dr. Holly Goodhead. Okay, so sticking with Moonraker, coming in at number 8 is the character of Corinne Dufour, played by the actress Corinne Clery. So yeah, again, another beautiful woman, and always, yeah, really like this lady from watching Moonraker. She doesn't have a very big role in the film, but she is the helicopter pilot, and she takes Bond to Drax's chateau. Very much portrayed as a sort of damsel in distress, I guess, in this film. You know, the famous sort of chase scene with her running through the forest and the dogs chasing her to her demise. Yeah, she sort of falls for Bond's charms very easily. She's very much the sort of Bond girl of old, shall we say. So, but nevertheless, you know, a very beautiful woman, and number 8 for me. So coming in at number 7 is Maud Adams. Now, Maud Adams is actually the only Bond girl, woman, to actually have starred in 3 James Bond films. Well, technically 2, but she was an extra in A View to a Kill. Only in a very sort of, well, blink and you miss her kind of scene. She was an extra in the crowd, just behind Roger Moore in a particular scene of the film. But more famously, she was in The Man with the Golden Gun. She played Andrea Arndez in that film. She was sort of Scaramanga's lady, and obviously Bond sort of, you know, has his way with her, as he always does. But then she came back to starring as Octopussy in the film Octopussy, and in that film she was very much more of a leading character, very much sort of in charge of, you know, a lot of Bond girls or a lot of women in this film. But yeah, she came across as far more of a stronger character in that film than she did in the Man with the Golden Gun. Again, sort of in that Man with the Golden Gun, there's sort of an early scene with Bond kind of sort of striking her, which again, sort of in this day and age, it would sort of be a bit frowned upon. You know, this is what it was like back in the sort of 60s and 70s. Bond could be like this with women, but sort of modern day Bond wouldn't really be like that anymore. But yeah, anyway, number 8 is Maud Adams. Solitaire from Live and Let Die, played by the wonderful Jane Seymour. She was very young in this role. I think it was one of her earliest roles, and I mean, she's still amazing to look at these days. You know, she still really sort of kept her sort of looks, and yeah, fantastic role as Solitaire. Again, the sort of tarot card reader in that film, but again, she was a bit of a damsel in distress as the film went on. Again, it was sort of early 70s, and very much most of the Bond girls were portrayed like this. Not all of them, but a majority of them were. And yeah, again, a great Bond girl, Solitaire. Okay, so coming in at number 5, and this may be a lot of people's number 1 choice, and it is Honey Ryder from Dr. No, played by the wonderful Ursula Andress. And there's that famous scene, obviously, where she comes out of the sea. This would have been on many young men's walls as a poster back in the day, and you know, she was absolutely gorgeous, wasn't she? Yeah, you know, the first James Bond girl, really, and she still stands the test of time. And I'm sure for many of you Bond fans out there, she's probably the number 1 choice. But for me, I've put her at number 5. So coming in at number 4 is Paloma from No Time to Die. So Paloma, played by Ana de Armas. Ana de Armas is really sort of starting to become an action star. Most recent role, as of recording this, is Ballerina, John Wick spin-off. And I think this film, No Time to Die, she'd only had a small part in it, but a lot of people did like her character. They would have liked to have seen more of her. You know, maybe a reprising role in a new film, but I don't know whether we'll get that, because you know, Bond could go in a different direction, a reset, reboot, who knows. But yeah, the character of Paloma, she was a really good character, kind of almost very different to typical Bond girls. Obviously, when Bond sort of tries to make a bit of a move on her, she kind of like blanks him as if to say, well, no, you know, you're not my type. And that was quite good, actually, because you've never really seen that before. Bond girls always sort of flutter their eyelashes, you know, sort of damsel in distress kind of thing. But you know, we're seeing sort of more, you know, modern women now sort of holding their own. You know, it started, I would say, in the late 70s. Although you could say there were a few characters from even the 60s that were strong female Bond girls. But yeah, this character, she's you know, badass. She you know, she can get involved in a fight, knows how to shoot, all the rest of it, and yeah, great character, Paloma. Okay, so coming in at number 3 is Anya Asimov, or Agent Triple X, from the film The Spy Who Loved Me. So this was played by Barbara Bach. Again, absolutely gorgeous lady. Married to Ringo Starr of the Beatles. Do believe they're still together as well. Been married many years. And yeah, absolutely gorgeous lady. Again, played a really strong character in The Spy Who Loved Me. She did have a sort of side of her that was a little bit sensitive, I suppose, but ultimately she was a match for James Bond, you know, a Russian agent. She had her own agenda, but yeah, she had a sort of sensitive side to her as well. But yeah, really thought she was absolutely gorgeous. Always one of my favourite Bond girls growing up. So yeah, Agent Triple X is number 3. Okay, so we're into the top 2 now. So just before we get to that, if you're liking these videos and you're new to the channel and you like James Bond, why not consider subscribing to the channel? Hit the subscribe button down below, or if you've seen the QR code on screen, just hover your phone over and you can subscribe in that way. Why not leave a comment down below as well? Which top 10 Bond girls would you have in your list? Any of these or any others? Yeah, be interested to hear your thoughts. Right, so top 2, number 2, Pussy Galore, played by the gorgeous Honor Blackman from Goldfinger. Again, really strong female Bond character. Again, she held her own with Sean Connery. But yeah, she was, you know, she sort of matched him, and you know, she controlled the sort of the girls in the planes that were going to do the sort of raid on Fort Knox and this kind of a thing. And yeah, again, absolutely gorgeous. Sadly passed away now, but yeah, my number 2 is Pussy Galore. Okay, so my number 1 James Bond girl, and some may be surprised by this, but it's Vesper Lynd, played by the gorgeous Eva Green. Yeah, before Casino Royale came along, I probably would have had Pussy Galore at number 1, but Eva Green, for me, her chemistry between her and Daniel Craig I thought was absolutely fantastic. Casino Royale is a kind of love story, although the character of Vesper kind of betrays Bond at the end of the film. But yeah, he sort of falls in love with her, and I think there is a mutual love there, but you know, she's also got a boyfriend from before, so it's, I don't know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? But yeah, she's such a strong character in the film. Like I've said previously in a video, there's a scene between her character and James Bond. He's just sort of been involved in a fight. This is in Casino Royale, and he kills the guys in front of her, and I don't think she's ever seen anyone killed before, and she's kind of traumatized by this, as you would be. And there's a really good scene sort of where he's sort of comforting her in the shower. They're both fully clothed, but yeah, you can really see that she's really traumatized by this, and he tries to sort of console her, you know, sort of trying to get her through the initial shock of it all. It's a very powerful scene, in my opinion. I just love the chemistry between the two of them in the film. Very much at the start that you know, they don't like each other, but they do, and you can see the chemistry, and you can see the sort of attraction going on in the early part of the film, and then it builds and builds until she kind of lets her defences down, he lets his defences down, and yeah, I mean, again, the casino scenes where she gets all dressed up and he's kind of shocked by how she looks. You know, he's kind of like, wow, you know, you really look, you know, rather gorgeous tonight, and all this sort of thing. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. My number 1 Bond girl is Vesper Lynd. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I will leave links for some other top 10 James Bond videos that I've done, so I'll leave these up here. Hope you enjoy them. There's a Bond playlist as well. I'll probably leave that up as well. So see you next time.